Hey guys, what's going on? Payne here once again and welcome back to my Valencia career on FIFA 14 next gen on the PS4. Now I'd just like to say thanks to everyone that tuned into my previous episode where Valencia took on Barcelona. It was the full game with live commentary. If any of you guys did miss it, you can go back and see that by clicking on the previous button, the annotation link up in the top left hand corner of this video. Now with that game out the way and done with, which was my third game into the La Liga season, we had to then focus on this game against Real Betis away from home. It was a tough game against Barcelona, but we managed to get a decent result considering that it's, pretty much my first time in charge of a Spanish side on a FIFA game. So it's all kind of new still to me, getting used to the players and what sort of team I want to be putting out for every game. I mean, when you watch my United career, you kind of knew the players that I was going to be starting for each game, and I want to try and keep that consistency here as well with Valencia. Obviously, with the depth that we've got in this squad, with the youngsters that are pretty decent, I'm going to be using them as well. We had a few good shots on target against Betis, but it just wasn't enough to actually break through their defence and actually get a goal, as the game still stood at 0-0. Nossa eventually for Betis made it 1-0 just before the half-hour mark. Juanfran coming in with a perfect cross and just picking out Nossa's head. I hate it when that happens, because there's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. I mean, as you saw, I think that's Rami that came in trying to get a head to it, but he was never going to get to it really. It's typical FIFA. So Betis found themselves 1-0 up. I had to clear that as well. Look at the pressure that I was being put under. And that was another thing in this game against Betis. Even though we played a week later after that game against Barcelona, it seemed as though we had the big game blues and we didn't want to perform like we did against Barcelona. And it just wasn't enough. We did go on to lose against Betis. A 1-0 win for them. We did alright, but obviously we lost all 3 points. And take a look at this as well. The fans are already concerning over my management. Could I be on the way out of Valencia? I don't think I've been that bad, have I? I mean, we put up a great performance against Barcelona, as you guys saw if you watched that video. But then again, when you look at the league table, we do find ourselves in 12th position. Certainly not where Valencia want to be come the end of the season. Yes, it's going to be an uphill struggle now. We find ourselves 11 points behind the league leaders, Real Madrid. But we just had to focus on our next game, really, which was to be played at home against Seville. If we could do this, if we could beat them, we can leapfrog them and start climbing up that table, which we desperately need so early on in the season. Because the last thing that I would need is getting sacked by the Valencia board. I mean, what team would I go to then? I mean, that would just be the end of this series. But take a look at that nice little 1-2 there. PAYTON, who put in a great performance against Barcelona, even getting himself on the score sheet, picked out Jonas nice and perfectly, planting the ball right in front of him to take into the box. And it was one of those goals again where he goes running, looks like he's going to put the ball wide, but the goalkeeper comes running out and he kind of chips that round him ever so slightly and into the bottom corner. And we found ourselves 1-0 up within 5 minutes gone of the game. We're doing pretty good when it comes to scoring early goals, but we just have to make sure that we can hold on to that, instead of losing it halfway through the game. Some good teamwork there between Jonas and Pereira, as Jonas found the overlap as Pereira came running in from that right back position and had a chance on goal. Could have made it 2-0, but it just wasn't to be. Goalkeeper getting a hand to that. There was some good attacking movement, but Seville, they saw it coming. They could read us like a book, but we managed to hold him there and keep that 1-0 win. Some bad news though. Dorlan PAYTON picked up a hyperextended knee and is now going to be out for 3 weeks. Definitely not what I needed, because he is a first team player. So I'm going to be looking at the likes of PAYTON coming in. I know some of you guys have been saying that I should be playing him because he's a first team player, isn't he? He's an effective player and someone willing to actually run at the opposition's defence, and that's definitely what we need in the side. And speaking of PAYTON, he did start the game on the bench for this one against Granada. I wanted to put out a strong side because I know that we could take full advantage of Granada. They're bottom of the table. They haven't really picked up any points so far this season, and so I just wanted to walk all over them. I wanted to try and grab as many goals as possible in this one. And look at Leandro, my new signing from the summer, who came in for 7.5 from the Brazilian side, Palmeiras. And even though he hasn't actually got his debut goal yet, I'm pretty happy with him, and I think he's going to fit just nicely here at Valencia as the season progresses. Look at Douglas Costa as well, making a nuisance of himself, pushing so far up, and he managed to steal the ball there. First shot and goal was saved by the keeper, but on the rebound, his head was there to knock that one into the back of the net, making it 1-0. This is it now. Could we go on and get more goals? That's what I wanted against Granada. Just take full advantage of them and see if we could grab ourselves a couple of more goals. Check out Murillo here for Granada. Pushes the ball way out in front, and he seriously didn't estimate Jonas how he sprinted towards the ball, tried to steal it off him, and I succeeded there. Luckily for me, that shot went in to the top left hand corner for Valencia. We found ourselves 2-0 up within the space of 2 minutes. How amazing is that? Could we go on now and get a third goal? What a fantastic goal. That could probably go down as maybe a goal of the season candidate. What do you guys reckon? Let me know in the comments section below. Check out that replay. Gets better every time, especially when it's a decent goal as well. It's kind of a tight angle to score a goal like that, I think, from just outside the box. But Valencia, we went on to beat Granada 2-0. So things are definitely looking up for the Valencia fans. We're starting to climb up the table now, and here's the squad report. So let's go through all the players. Some of them haven't actually increased, but if you look at Ever Banega there and Faguli, I'm really impressed with Fidel and Douglas Costa, my 2 new signings from the summer, and Cartabia, the Argentinian, who I want to start playing a lot more as well. That you'll see him a lot more actually as we progress through the season. Ricardo Costa is getting a bit older now. I am thinking of maybe when the summer comes along, because it probably won't be January, we haven't got that many funds now after signing those 3 players in the summer, but I think when the summer comes along, I'll be looking at a new central midfielder and also a new centre back to fill that position. Ibizuki as well, I do want to play him. I did start him in my pre-season, but he picked up an injury. There is Sissoko as well, who's actually on loan to Liverpool at the moment. I am thinking about bringing him back, and also Jonathan Vieira if we need them. We'll just have to see what happens as we keep going on with the season. Our next and last fixture of this video, guys, saw this Valencia side going head-to-head at home against Rayo Vallecano. Looking forward to this because once again it's another team that find themselves in the relegation spot. So once again it was the same procedure as it was against Granada. They find themselves in the relegation zone, and so I put out my strong side. I want to try and get as many goals as possible because goals mean confidence, and the more confidence this Valencia side, the more we can climb up that table and look dangerous, and we can be putting up challenges with the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona, making us look as though we could be title contenders. And speaking of Jonathan Vieira as well, he actually started this game for Rayo Vallecano up front. He's on loan to them, as he just saw, but we opened up the scoring. Jonas, again our hitman up front, and he almost burst the net with that powerful shot. Nice little 1-2 there between him and Fidel, and top corner, just check that out, nice little dink over the top of the defenders. Top corner, beautiful. Top goal, super goal. And I think he hit that with his shin. It wasn't actually his boot, it looked like it was his shin, and he managed to keep that one down just enough to go in under the crossbar and get Valencia their first goal of the game within 25 minutes. Look at that nice little back pass, didn't work out, and Vallecano found themselves on the back foot. They wanted to get into this game. They're going to need it. They need to start working harder if they want to be climbing up the table and get themselves out that relegation zone. But somehow I don't see that happening. Again, another over-the-top pass. Finding Douglas Costa, new signing from the summer, grabbing another goal for Valencia. I think I was going to say he's actually scored his debut goal already, hasn't he? Just a little bit earlier in the season. But as we all know, next-gen FIFA, over-the-top through balls are overpowered at the moment. So I took advantage of it. What else do you expect me to do? Making it 2-0 there, Costa with a nice little dance. I thought Jonathan Vieira was going to make it 2-1 there. It was a great chance, but I think Diego Alves was all over that. I think he would have saved it if it was going in. Look at that. Ferguli, what a beast, outside the box. Again, very reminiscent of that goal Hodes scored against Granada. And I think, to be honest, when you look at the replay, I think it was much of a tighter angle, and it's further out, just further out than Hodes' firing shot against Granada. But take a look at that. I think he kind of hit that on the outside of his boot, and it curled around the goalkeeper. And fortunately for me, it clipped the post as it went in across the line. Valencia found themselves 3-0 up against Vallecano, and all them fans that seemed to be concerning over me earlier on in this season seem to have shut up now, don't they? I've shut up the critics, which is brilliant. And Jonathan Vieira, he just couldn't help himself. He had to score against his club, didn't he? Valencia, making it 3-1. But I could still see Valencia walking away with a win in this one. I mean, it was too late in the game, really, to go ahead and turn this one around completely. It was a nice, simple goal, very tight angle. He managed to slide the ball into the back of the net. But Vallecano, they seemed to get momentum behind them after they scored that goal from Vieira. Their fans came alive, and Bangura was picked up perfectly. Diego Alves with a great save, and we just had to get it out of the area. I didn't want to let in another goal, and that was, of course, the final score. 3-1 to Valencia, another set of 3 points. It wasn't actually Diego Alves, it was Guaita in goal. But there we have it, guys. That is the end of this episode. I do hope that you've all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one.
And until next time, I've been Jeff Stelling.